welcome to the RVCC podcast, where we want to help you grow in your faith, lead your family, and influence your workplace. Hey, what's up? I'm Kevin Moore. Thanks so much for joining me today. Now, before we get into our content, which I'm really excited about the story that we're going to tell today, because I think it's going to be something that you can really apply to yourself, to your family, and to your workplace. But before we get into that, I got two announcements for you. Gentlemen, the guys that are listening out there, we've got an event coming up for you. It's called Iron Men. It's Thursday night, September 18th. We've got fun, food, friends, faith. It's 6:30 p.m. at the Stable Event Center. It's going to be a great night. We've got music, a worship team. I'm going to be doing a message on manhood. We got a pulled pork sandwich meal with all the trimmings, activities. And listen, it's absolutely free. So load up the car with your friends, load up the car with your family members. Listen, if you've got a son that you want to bring with you, please do. This is just going to be a great night. So come join us. Also on Tuesday night, October 14th at the RV Hall of Fame, we have our big fall event. Man, this is for guys. It's for gals. It's for your team members. It's for your family. Bring them out to the RV Hall of Fame. We've got some great food. We've got prizes. And also we've got a guest speaker, Damon West. This guy is incredible. What an amazing speaker, has an incredible story. He's known as the coffee bean guy. So be sure to, if you haven't got your tickets yet, go to rvcommunityforchrist.com, click the events page, then get your tickets, your tables. It's going to be a great night. Okay, enough of the commercials, enough of the announcements. Let's get to the content for today. Today, what we want to do is I want to tell you a story, a true story of something that happened to me that was very, very, quite honestly, very foundational for the development of my life as a person, as a man, as a leader, as a Christ follower. This moment really shaped me. Here's what was happening. I had been a volunteer youth pastor at a church in Ligonier for quite some time. And I loved it. I loved ministry. I loved youth ministry. I wanted to be full time. I wanted to give, my entire day, every single day, to reaching teenagers for Christ and reaching families for Christ. I loved it. Well, in 2000, the church that we were serving at was able to actually bring me on full time. After all these years of serving and leading and being a volunteer, I was actually able to have my dream come true and be a full-time youth pastor. And man, I was ecstatic. Well, I started to work and I started to serve. And quite honestly, things were going really well. We're building strong teams. Kids were coming to Christ. It was going really, really well. Well, about, I don't know, maybe 3 months in, my pastor gives me a call on my office phone and says, "Hey, Kevin, come on down to my office, man. I've got something for you." And I said, "Okay, sir." So I hung up and I started to walk down the office. And as I was walking down the hallway to his office, I began to think to myself very quickly, man, I wonder what he's got for me. I wonder what he's going to give me. There'd been kind of rumors about, maybe going to have a associate pastor at the church one day. There'd been rumors about, him traveling some, and maybe we need some other people to speak. So maybe I'm going to be the associate pastor. Maybe I'm going to get to speak. I don't know, man. Things are going really well. Maybe I'm getting a raise already. What in the world is my pastor wanting to give me? I was so excited. And so I finally got down to his office and I turned the corner. I opened the door and walked into his office and said, "Hey, pastor, what do you got?" And he stood up and he said, "Well, Kevin, I've got something for you." And as he stood up, in one hand, he had a paintbrush. In another hand, he had a paint can. And I said, "Well, hey, pastor, what's that?" He said, "Well, it's a paintbrush and paint can." I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "Well, it's for you." I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "Well, the church has got the big event coming up on Sunday. We're going to be outside. And there's that old, kind of raggedy backstop that we've got, that baseball backstop for softball and baseball back there. It doesn't look really good, and we need to paint that. We're going to be playing some softball, going to be people back there, and we need that to be painted. And Kevin, I need you to go out, and I need you to take this paintbrush and paint can and go paint it." Now, I got to be honest, in that moment, with my face and with my voice, I sounded very happy to serve him. Hey, pastor, thanks so much. Yes, sir. I'll go paint that. And with my face and with my mouth, I did everything I was supposed to do, said the words I was supposed to say. But my heart, oh, it was far from right. I remember turning the corner from his office, and as soon as I got out of earshot, as soon as I got out of eyesight, I remember slamming that door open and literally saying out loud to myself, who in the world does he think he's talking to? Who does he think he's talking to? He's got the wrong P. He's giving me paintbrush and paint can. I'm a pastor. I'm a preacher. I'm not supposed to be painting. I'm supposed to be preaching. And man, I got to be honest with you, I was hurt. I was bummed. And whenever I got out to that, this is not good, but whenever I got out to that backstop, I remember opening up that can of paint. It was white paint, and I put the paintbrush down. I didn't even stir it up. You know how you're supposed to stir it up? I didn't even stir it up. I just slammed my paintbrush down in that paint can, and I started to slap that paint on. And as I was doing it, I was thinking to myself, man, who does he think he's talking to? I'm not a painter. I'm a pastor. I'm a pastor. This is a janitor's job. Then I started to realize we don't have a janitor. It's just my pastor and me. Then I started to think to myself, this isn't my fence. This is my pastor's fence. This is an adult, event that we're doing. I'm not the adult pastor. My pastor's the adult pastor. Then I started thinking, this isn't my fence. This isn't my event. This is my pastor's event. This is my pastor's fence. This is my pastor's job. And then it is my pastor's job. He's the one that hired me. And as I was thinking to myself, it hit me. This is my pastor's church. This is my pastor's job. This is my pastor's fence. And God in his goodness in that moment reminded me of a passage of scripture in Luke 16:12. If you have not been faithful with that which belongs to another man, who will give to you that thing which is your own? And it hit me. Everything I've got, from my job to this paintbrush, paint can, this fence, this position at the church, this isn't mine. This is actually my pastor's. He's my leader. And I asked the Lord to forgive me for my attitude. Lord, help me be faithful with something that belongs to another person. Help me to be faithful with these things that belong to my senior pastor that he's delegated to me to do. And then instead of beginning to complain about my pastor, I started to pray for him and pray for his wife and pray for his kids and pray for the church. And my attitude changed. And I remember going back to my pastor and saying, Pastor, here's the paintbrush and the paint can. And now with a sincere heart, I said, if I can ever help you again, let me know. And you know what? He did. It wasn't too much later. He called me down and said, hey, Kevin, I need you to start taking the trash out after every service. I said, yes, sir, you got it. Is there anything else I can do for you? How can I help you, Pastor? Well, Kevin, one time he called me and said, Kevin, there's a guy in town, man, he is punch drunk. He's an alcoholic. He's vomited all over himself. He's not doing well. He needs to go to the doctor. Can you take him to the doctor? Yes, sir. So then I took him to the doctor and came back and said, is there anything else I can help you with? And he gave me something else, and he gave me something. And every time he gave me something to do for him, I would simply say, how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? And it was the craziest thing that after a while of me coming up to my senior pastor and saying, hey, pastor, how can I help you? You know what started to happen? He started to say and to ask me, hey, Kevin, how can I help you? Hey, you know what, Kevin, this office is a little small for you. Would you like a new office? Well, yeah, yes, sir, I would. Okay, we're going to move you down the hall to this bigger office. And I got a bigger office. Hey, Kevin, how can I help you? Hey, you know what? At the church, we are needing an associate pastor. There's not a pay raise with it, but would you like that position? Well, yeah, yes, sir, I would. Hey, Kevin, how can I help you? Would you, I'm going to be gone on Sunday nights. Would you like to start speaking on Sunday nights for 5 weeks in a row at a time? Well, yeah, yes, sir, I'd love that opportunity. And then, hey, Kevin, how can I help you? Would you like a raise? Well, yeah, let me pray about that, Pastor. Yes, I would like a raise. And as I begin to serve my pastor, as I begin to be faithful with those things which belong to him, you know what my authority did? My authority gave me those things which belong to me. My authority gave me a raise. My authority gave me a new office. My authority gave me a new position. My authority gave me more influence. As I became faithful with those things that belong to my authority then came back and blessed me with more. It absolutely, this day absolutely changed my life. If you have not been faithful with that which belongs to another man, who will give to you those things which are your own? So let me ask you a question today. Who's your authority? Who's that person that you work for? Who's that person that you answer to? What is their visions? What is their goal? What is their plan? What would they like? Have you been faithful with those things that they've delegated to you? You see, so many times, and it starts as a child, so many times we can begin to think that authority's out to get us, that authority's not our friend, that it's a they, we have a they, that's a we mentality and a they mentality, and they're the authority, they're corporate, they're HR, they're the leader, they're this, they're that, and we get this divide between us and our authority. But authority is not our enemy. Authority is actually our friend, because it is through our authority many times that the blessings of our life comes. And again, we get duped into to not thinking this as a kid. We think that our parents are out to get us. But really? Our parents are out to get us? Where does the roof come from that's over my head? My authority, my parents. Where does the ability to get allowance come from? My parents. Where does food come from? My parents. My parents provide food. My parents provide roof overhead. My parents provide allowances and sources of income potentially. They're not my enemy. They're my friend. In school, when you're playing on sports, who's the one that has the ability to make you a starter? The coach. Who's the one that has the ability to call some colleges and help you get a scholarship? Your coach. Your coach is not your enemy. Your coach is your friend. And at work, who is it? Who is it that gives the promotion? The authority. Who is it that gives raises? The authority. Who is it that hires you? The authority. Authority is not our enemy. Authority is our friend. And many times we think to ourselves, well, yeah, Kevin, but you don't know my boss. My boss has got this bad attitude. My boss is manipulative. My boss is it. Listen, that's a them thing. I'm talking about you. We have to control what we control. And on that day, with that paintbrush and paint can in my hand, I controlled my attitude. And once I got my attitude in check, and once I got my heart in check, and I began to be faithful with those things which belong to another person, I began to get blessed in my life as well. What I found in my life is whenever I am faithful with those things which belong to another person, my authority, that I not only make that authority figure better, I not only make the organization I'm working for better, I also have the potential to make my life better. So I want to challenge you today. Download the PDF. Download the PDF. It's going to have a couple Bible verses. It's going to have a couple questions and a couple thoughts for you to look at. I think this is one of the keys to our life, to making our world a better place. Scripture says, to let our light so shine before men that they see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. This is one of those ways that we can show our good works, is to be faithful with those things that belong to another person. Because if you will be faithful to someone else's vision, eventually you will get your own vision. If you'll be faithful with someone else's goal, eventually you'll get your own goal. If you'll be faithful with someone else's department, eventually you may have your own department. If you will be faithful with those things that belong to another person, that person then will give you those things which belong to you. A paintbrush and a paint can. I'm so thankful for the lessons I learned. Hey, cannot wait to speak with you next time. Be sure to download the PDF, check out our events that are coming up, and we'll talk to you next time.